What's up, everyone? Today's video is going to be on why high-value men would rather be single and alone and are happier because of it. I want you to imagine something with me real quick. Imagine you spend your whole life building yourself up in basketball. You spend elementary school, middle school, high school, college, focusing on your game, becoming the best possible player you can. You land spots on huge teams, making lots of money, all in aspirations that one day you will be one of the world's greatest coaches in the NBA. And you make that your life's purpose. You're driven, motivated. You have worked tirelessly, hours upon hours, days, years of combined effort and work to finally land yourself in your dream coaching position. And when it's time to play the game, you send your team out on the court. You've trained them. You've shown them how what needs to be done. And instead of playing the game, they start yelling at you. They start criticizing your team. Your actual players on the team decide they want to start yelling at you, criticizing you, telling you how to run the team. Instead of actually playing basketball, they decide to just go run off court and go do whatever they want to do. Your whole team just scatters off the field, off the court, and you stand by helplessly, watching them just do whatever they want to do. Some just go sit in the bleacher in the stands with fans. They want to start. They start drinking. They're out doing whatever they want to do. You got some over in your face yelling at you, criticizing you, and all kinds of nonsense. And then on top of that, there is no recourse. You can't fire them. You can't demote them. You can't take any kind of action to give consequences for their bad behavior. Of course, your team loses the game, loses the season, and there's nothing you can do to change the equation. Your team falls apart, and there's nothing you can do. You've been stripped of all ability to instill consequences or fear of consequence for breach of contract or breach of their responsibilities on the team. Your star point guard decides he's just going to go, and instead of showing up for the game, he just wants to go out to the club. Nobody shows up for practice, and you have no recourse. I want you to imagine yourself in that scenario for this video, because I want you to imagine the hopelessness and despair you would experience in this situation. Here you are expected to lead this team to victory. You have been given the position, but you have no authority. See, this is the plight of the modern man today. The modern man today is expected to lead, guide, and protect his family. To lead them to victory. To lead the team, to inspire, to encourage. To plan. To make all these plans and to hold the family unit together by his strength and his ability as a man to lead a family to success and to victory. But he has no authority. And on top of that, he is held back from society from even trying to accomplish the goals and made to feel bad for having the plans. See, in today's world, when it comes to dating, it makes no sense for high-value men to want to take on a team, to take on people to help, to be part of the team, to take on a woman. It makes no sense. because you have all the responsibilities, but you have no method for instilling accountability in the process. You have no way to create a situation where repercussions come because of poor performance. Sometimes you have to bench a player who is not participating in the actual game plan. Sometimes you have to remove a player from the team. But in today's time, doing any of these things in a relationship will get you crucified in the streets by society. Women today expect that a man drop every single option that they have when it comes to relationships the moment they meet the woman and find that they have any kind of connection. Meanwhile, women have phones full of beta orders surrounding them like vultures at any given time, waiting for that man to not perform perfectly. And men are called players. But women are encouraged to do this. Women are encouraged to play the field. Men are called players because they want to take their time and see the caliber of person that they're dealing with before they give them their commitment and their loyalty. That man's called a player. Because a man wants to be able to protect his assets and protect his livelihood and his energy and his time against people who would seek to cause him harm in his life. And he withholds his affection until that affection is earned. He's called a player. Because a man doesn't immediately bow down and worship a woman and put her on a pedestal and treat her as if she is a god on this earth, he's called a player. Men's entire lives are ruined from these relationships. And a lot of women in today's time are energy vampires. They hop from one relationship to the next, without even a gap between. From one guy to the next, absorbing their energy, absorbing their accolades, financial resources, time resources, investment resources. Because men are biologically wired to sacrifice. Men are biologically wired to give up their time and their energy. And because if there's a man who says to himself, you know what, I'm going to withhold this until the time is such that it's been deserved, he's called a player. See, women today are so used to men who worship the ground they walk on that when they encounter a man who doesn't do that, he's targeted and labeled for doing the exact same thing that the women themselves are doing. See, what you have to understand, gentlemen, is that no woman is single and no woman is taken. Actually, let me correct that. Every woman is single and every woman is also spoken for. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, every woman is single for the right price, for the right opportunity, right? And given the right opportunity, she will upgrade to a bigger and better deal. Given the right opportunity, she will. And this isn't a criticism to women, because men do the same things. At any given time, if you find a bigger, better deal, you will upgrade to that. The problem, though, is that the second part of this, which is every woman is already spoken for. Every woman already has multiple men lined up in her DMs at any given time that serve different purposes in her life. She'll have a bunch of guys who are just in her life for only one reason, that is to give her likes, thumbs up, and heart emojis on her posts on social media. She'll have dozens, if not hundreds, maybe in some cases thousands of men who she gets their non-sexual energy from, the accolades. You have women who create posts on Facebook and they will take 50 or 60 photos, they'll pick the best one, they'll digitally enhance it, they'll post it, and if they don't get 200 or 300 likes, they'll take the post down. I've actually had women tell me, yeah, I posted this thing online, me like doing some provocative dancing, and I'll be honest with you, I was kind of sad I didn't really get a better response. So women keep up all these guys around her for the accolades. Why do you think these women complain about these guys who they're getting messages from? I've had women literally complain to me, look at this guy, he's been messaging me over and over again. She'll scroll through the messages and she hasn't responded to a single message, but he'll be like blowing her phone, hey sweetie, how you doing, beautiful? What you doing, beautiful? What's going on? Hey, how are you? And she'll be laughing, just laughing at this guy, right? And I'm thinking to myself, if he's bothering you, why don't you just block him? Think about this, guys. They like the energy. They like the free attention. They love the free energy and free attention, wouldn't you? If every time all you had to do was post a photo of yourself and put it online, if every time you would get 20, 30 responses, thumbs up, hey, you're so handsome, hey, I'd love to take you out to dinner, it'd be kind of addicting, wouldn't it? And see, attention for women is like a drug. It's like every time they get a thumbs up or a heart or these kind of messages, it acts as an ego boost and it actually injects endorphins into their bloodstream, and it creates a high for them. And technology companies recognize this. They are playing on this as part of their strategy for how they develop these applications. And so, do you think if you start dating a woman, she's going to get rid of all of those guys? No, she's not going to get rid of all those guys. She's going to keep them around. She's not going to block their number. She's going to let them keep sending them messages so that way she can laugh about it. She can show you or other people, oh, look how desirable I am. I've got all these guys messaging me. Oh, look at this creeper. He's messaging me. He's messaged me 10 times in the last 2 weeks. He's such a creeper. But she won't block him because she loves the energy. See, like I said, women have lots of options, and they don't even have to try to have lots of options. And this is the difference between men and women. Women don't understand this about the difference. Women only see things from their perspective, just like us guys. We only see things from our perspective. But see, women don't understand what it's like to be a guy and to not get those accolades on social media. You can take an average woman today, put her on social media, and she'll get more attention than some celebrities got 25 years ago. I want you to think about this for a second. Just a regular average woman with an average set of social media accounts, she can garner more attention and more energy than a celebrity 25 years ago. And what do you think this does? It boosts their egos through the roof. Their egos go through the roof because in their mind, they are on par with the gods. Think about this for a moment, everyone. There are women on social media today, because of their social media accounts, who have a larger following than some religions. They get more money and more attention than some entire religions. You just had baby, whatever her name is, Catch Me Outside girl, started an OnlyFans account, made $1.5 million in her first month on OnlyFans. I believe that's the number. I know it's 1.5. And Lil Nas's face talking about, oh, I'm richer than you, I got more money. Now, what did she do to deserve that? Nothing. Nothing but take a photo of her body. She added no value to the world. She did not make the world a better place. She didn't accomplish anything. All she had to do was take some photos of her body, which were gifted to her from birth, by the way, and swindle $1.5 million, or it's probably more than that now, out of a bunch of desperate, thirsty men on the internet. But men are players because they want to protect their interests, because they want to protect their energy and their time and their investments. Men are players. But these aren't the only men that women keep in their lives. Women keep a large circle of men in their lives, and a lot of them are just bystanders. They're out there giving likes and accolades and thumbs up. But she also keeps other men in her life a little closer to the cuff. Women will keep men around just for, women will have men's numbers saved in there, like food guy, trip guy, Colorado guy. They'll earmark people in their phones based upon the services that guy provide for them. See, women can build like a Voltron. They can build like an assimilation of men in their lives to take up all these different roles. So they might have one guy that's good for piping them down, right? So when she's feeling horny, whatever, she can hit him up, whatever, and they can hook up. She'll have another guy who's good for taking her out for meals. He takes her out to, this is the guy who literally will cash in his check. And the first thing he does is will call us, hey, let's go eat at this such and such fancy restaurant. She'll have another guy that's good for taking her on trips or going out for, he'll pay for her to go out. You have women out here who literally don't even plan their own meals. They don't spend money on groceries. You go to their house, they'll have nothing in their refrigerator, because guess what? They've got guys, they literally plan their schedules around men taking them out for dinners and lunches and this kind of stuff. So they'll have 5 or 6 guys lined up to do these things. You have women who go to the bars, with no money. I want you to think about this for a minute, gentlemen. They are going to the bar with no money, and they'll leave drunk because they know that they have dozens upon dozens of beta thirsty men at these bars that will just buy them drink after drink. But men are the players. Men are the players. Men are the ones who are players. Because a man doesn't want to make you his wife as soon as he meets you. Because a man doesn't want to wife you up as soon as he sleeps with you. Men, yeah, that's right. So now men are the terrorists. Men are the ones who are the monsters, and they're the animals, and they're the ones who are trying to take advantage of the women of women in their lives. Because a man doesn't want to marry you just because y'all slept together. And this is the plight of modern civilization. This is it. And men are expected to lead his family, his team, to victory, to across the line, to win the playoffs. Full of people on his team who don't respect him, who don't follow his leadership, who don't listen to him, who don't appreciate him, who don't respect him, who don't want to help him succeed, who do not want to help the team succeed. A team full of people who are self-absorbed narcissists who have no interest except for themselves. man is expected to lead this team to the NBA playoffs and win the game. And if he doesn't, he will be shamed. Look at all these men you see on the side of the streets homeless. A lifetime of sacrifice. A lifetime of putting other people above himself. Sacrificing over and over again because that's what he was told to do. And when he ends up homeless on the streets, nobody will even know because they've long forgot about him. See, the problem with a lot of modern women is they come to the table believing that the coach needs to put them on a pedestal. That they are above all the other players on the team, that they are in fact above the coach, and they need to be respected as such. And that the coach should be thanking God that they are part of that team, and they should be bowing over and changing everything for that player, and that is not how you win a ball game. You've heard the saying, there is no I in team. See, and any man who says these things or stands up for himself is called a player. It's called a misogynist. Oh, you don't respect women. You don't value women. No. I value that which brings value. If you want to come on this team and bring value to the team, then we will win together. But you have to have a leader. And if you've ever been on an airplane, you've heard the stewardess go through the whole thing. I want to give you a great example of what I mean when it comes to leadership and why it's important not to put other people before you as a man. When you go on an airplane, the stewardesses will walk through what happened in case of an emergency. One of the things that will happen is the air mask will come down from the roof, and you will have to make a decision. And they always tell you, do not skip yourself. Put your mask on first before you reach around and help someone else put their mask on. Now, initially that might sound selfish, and the reason why they tell you that is because most of us instinctively will want to help other people first, especially the women in our lives and the children, or just anybody who's next to us, especially as a man. One of the first things I want to do is I want to help other people. But what they tell you is you have to help yourself first. You have to put that mask on first because you cannot help another person if you are starving of oxygen and you go unconscious. Now you become a liability to everyone else around you. And as a man, as a leader of a family, you have to put yourself first at all times. This is why I say, if any woman tells you that she wants you to put her on a pedestal, just move away. Get away from that person. Because that person does not understand the weight of responsibility that you have as a man. They do not understand that. They're not being understanding of that. But you're a player because you want to put your mask on first. Because you want to protect your assets and your energies first. But you have to. Because if you don't put yourself first, you will not be able to help other people. And this is real talk. Your mission and purpose in life as a man is to lead, guide, and protect. To teach. To give guidance. You are a leader of a house, of a family. And I know in modern times, this is an unpopular opinion. But what do you mean a leader? I don't need a leader. No, every organization needs a leader. Every kingdom needs a leader. We have to have people who lead. Every company needs a leader, someone who will make the final decision and will guide the company, the team, the organization, the kingdom to success. And this is the biological role of a man. Lead, guide, protect. Instruct, guide, to teach, to be a person. In order to do that, you can never put another person on a pedestal. You must always put yourself on the pedestal. You must make yourself the prize. And you have to do that. No matter how hard people want to push against you, no matter how much people want to criticize you because you want to do it, you have to set yourself as the prize. And you have to do everything you can to make sure that you are in the best condition physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, at all times, at every single instance, that you are at the top of your game at all times, because if you're not, you will be replaced. And these very same women who want you to worship them and put them on pedestals and give and make sacrifices to them and give them your time and give them your energy and give them your resources, as soon as they feel that your time, energy, and resources have depleted, don't forget, gentlemen, they already have your replacements lined up in their phones. So I ask you, who's the real player? Let's be real here. Who is the real player? The real player are these women that we're dealing with. The people you're dealing with on a daily basis, who have such little respect for you that they think you should treat them like they are gods, that you should be sacrificing for them, that you should be giving them your time and attention, and that they should be expected to deserve it. Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. That strategy doesn't work in business. It doesn't work in kingdom development. It doesn't work in any type of government. It doesn't work in any kind of organization. It doesn't work on a baseball team. It doesn't work on a basketball team. And this is why high-value men do not want to be in relationships. This is why they avoid relationships. Because their ability to lead has been sabotaged from the ground up. And any man who says, I have expectations and in order for you to receive certain things from me, is labeled a misogynist, is labeled a player, is labeled a womanizer, because he has expectations. And part of the problem here is society, especially women today, most modern women, are so used to the worship coming from other men and other sources that it comes across as offensive to them when a man doesn't worship them. It actually offends them. It offends them when a man is not willing to lay his life down and sacrifice himself with no good cause. I'm a woman. I'm supposed to be his queen. He's supposed to worship me. He's supposed to give me everything. He's supposed to want to give me all of this stuff. And you ask most women, if you ask the average woman, you go ahead and do this with your girl next time you're hanging out. Ask her, say, next time she starts talking to you about this kind of nonsense, ask her, say, just look at her and say, what do you bring to the table besides sex? Okay, I'm the coach of this team. What do you bring to the table besides that you know how to dribble a ball? That's basic requirements. And that's a mutual exchange. Sex is mutual exchange, everybody. You ask most people what they bring to the table, and say, well, I am the table. I don't need to bring anything. Because they have been deluded by modern culture that they are basically gods. And I don't see a way out of this situation. It only gets worse as time goes on, as social media becomes more prevalent and dating apps. Women's egos will continue to be overinflated. Men's egos will continue to be demolished. And I don't see a way out of this for us as a society until women start recognizing these problems. Oh shit, yeah, you're right. If I'm going to be on this man's team, I got to play by the team rules. That's not unreasonable. But will this happen? I don't know if it ever will. I don't know what the hope is for long-term relationships. You know, the problem is, one of the men today who stand up for themselves get such a bad rap. Oh, he's got issues with commitment issues. He's a commitment phobia. He's afraid to be committed. Oh, he's a player. All he wants to do is go around sleeping. Many modern guys today, most of us guys would love to have a meaningful relationship with a woman and build something with somebody. But the problem is finding somebody who's worthy of that interaction. Finding somebody who will recognize the power and difference in our society and say, you know what? I see what he's going through. I see what my king is going through. I see how he's attacked left and right by everybody who does understand what his mission and purpose is, but I see his mission. I see the imbalance of power. I see all these guys in my direct messages, and I see how hard it is for my king to even get any kind of attention and respect, and how hard he has to work for every bit of respect that he gets. Let me go ahead and see how I can even the balance of power. Let me go ahead and get rid of my social medias because I don't even want him thinking about this stuff. Let me go out of my way to make sure my king knows that I'm about building his kingdom and helping him build his team. Let me make sure my coach knows that I'm in this to win it. That I'm going to be at practices. I'm going to give 110%. I'm not going to be messed. I'm going to follow the rules. I want to be part of this team. But where's a modern woman like that nowadays? How could a modern woman like that even exist in today's time? Even if your girl got rid of all of her social media accounts, even if she got rid of all of her streams of opportunities for stumbling across a bigger, better deal than you, she's still going to be worshipped everywhere. I dated a girl one time. Her and her friend went at a gas station, and some random guy just came up to her, gave him $100 each. $100 bill, guys. Just gave it to them. Oh, it's just out of the nicest of his heart. It's not out of the nicest of his heart. It's because modern women today are worshipped like gods. And most men in today's world are so desperate and so lonely and so sad and miserable with such little purpose in their life that they will give everything to these women just for a little bit of their time. But ladies, I'm here to tell you, when you want to deal with a high-value man, a man who has high value, he's better off without you. Unless you can come to the table and say, I want to be part of this team, coach. Put me in the game. How can I help build this team up? This is what it will take to have successful long-term relationships. And listen, all these things that we've been told our whole lives, Prince Charming, he's going to sweep you off your feet, give you everything, and he's not going to respect you. It's all a fairy tale. Most people today, most marriages, over 50, maybe 60% of marriages end in divorce to date, and I believe many social researchers are saying that number will only continue to increase. So most marriages end in divorce. Most divorces are initiated by women. And of the few remaining marriages, most of those are sexless marriages where those people are miserable. And I'm sorry, if you're not having sex, if you're not having romantic interactions with your partner on a daily basis, like meaningful, passionate romantic interactions, if you two can be in a room together and hold yourselves back from each other, sorry, that's not a passionate relationship. That's not the kind of relationship I would want to be in. I don't want to be with a woman who can hold herself back from me. I want a woman who desires me so strong that she can't help herself when she's around me. That I have to fend her off because she can't help herself. She desires me so strongly. Most marriages are, that 40% of marriages that are together, I would dare to say 99% of those are not even anywhere in the ballpark of that type of relationship. And we know this through statistical analysis. There's data that shows that when women get into long-term relationships, their sex drive falls. Overwhelmingly. So yeah, I don't know if this is possible. And all that's going to keep happening is men are going to be further and further demonized the more they expect. They're going to be players. They're going to be called players. They're going to be called chauvinists. They're going to be called all these kinds of things because we as a society have decided to go against our biological inclinations. We have fought our biology to the point that it's making us miserable. Society's trying to say that we don't need leaders. We don't need someone to lead and guide the family. What do we need that for? A woman can go out and make money? What does money have to do with any of this stuff? No. We have biology. We are living organisms. We are animals. And as much as we want to fight our biological instincts, some of those you can't. The only way you're going to fight those, it's going to be going against your own nature, and it's going to cause you misery and pain. And what do you think most of these relationships are? Misery and pain. Most relationships end in misery and pain because people cannot accept in modern times the simple biological truths that men are designed to be leaders, guiders, and protectors of a family. And women are biologically wired to want a man who fits that bill. But now because they can make a couple $1 million on OnlyFans by just showing pictures of their bodies, they feel like, I don't need no man. And that's fine. But here's the thing. Don't be sad, miserable, or angry when you see these high-value men living their best life. You have to decide, ladies, do you want to be on the team? If you do, you're going to have to accept the leadership of the man in your life. If you don't, that's fine too. You have that right, and you should have that right. I consider myself a true feminist, meaning I support the feminine imperative that, hey, break free of this whole thing where you have to be a certain way. But at the same time, don't expect high-value men to want to lay their lives and sacrifice for you if you're not willing to follow their leadership. Don't try to be on the basketball team if you're not willing to submit to the coach. But only women can decide this. And only, well, I'm sorry, let me take that back. Men have to decide at some point, I'm going to put myself first. I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to be a leader. And women, at some point, if they want that long-term relationship, they have to decide, I want to be on this team. I respect that coach. I want to be part of this team. I want to show that coach that I'm serious about this team. And until that time happens, how can you ever have a successful long-term relationship? How can you ever take your team to the playoffs until your team decides that they are ready to take the team serious? And I don't mean to be pessimistic about this. Is it possible? I hope that it is possible for men and women to find this balance again. But the pendulum has swung so far over that all I see before me is more misery, more sadness, and more bitterness from everybody involved. Men who are tired of having run around and having all these things going on and losing all their resources and energy that they dump into these relationships. And time after time again, men pouring themselves in relationships that go nowhere because the women just move to the next guy in her DM list. Men are tired of doing this. Men don't want to do this. It's killing us. They're constantly pouring time and energy into a relationship that's just destined to fail because a woman cannot see herself submitting to that man. And women are tired of it too. These women, once they hit 30, 40 years old, they become miserable because they've been run through, they've been run ragged, and now when they're tired, ready to settle down, they can't find a high-value guy to take them serious. Take care of yourself, like and subscribe. Thanks.